everybody. Doing a eating butterscotch. What I've been watching vid. I can't remember the last time I did what I've been watching video. They're obviously common, but I mean, it's just like movies and shows. I'm just gonna, whatever it's been, not just specifically shows or whatever. I will start with a show though. I'm gonna watch the latest episode, the 5th one. After this, and it's Only Murders in the Building. It's a Hulu original. It's created by Steve Martin and co-created by somebody else. I forget the name. But stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. They're 3 people who live in this apartment building. And they kind of don't even know each other at first. They kind of like bump into each other or whatever. But then like a fire alarm goes off and they all have to leave and they go to this like kind of restaurant and they all love true crime podcasts and all of a sudden they all see each other watch. They all like, Steve Martin's like talking about it and then Martin Short comes over and they start listening to it. And Selena Gomez comes over and they're all discussing it. And then a murder takes place in the building and they want to figure out who did it. And then they start their own Only Murders, and they call their podcast, they do their own true crime podcast called Only Murders in the Building. It's a half-hour show. It is funny. I actually thought it was really funny. I had seen some previews on Instagram of it, and it, in my opinion, was not. I feel like it was more of an off-putting previews. But the show is very breezy. The chemistry between the 3 of them, the 3 main people, Selena Gomez, Martin Short, Steve Martin, is awesome. And I know Steve Martin and Martin Short have done plenty of other things in the past, so they already have. But Selena Gomez as well, it all works well. Tina Fey as she pops up randomly because she does like the best true crime podcast. I forget what her character's name is. Sting popped up in an episode from the police. It's just a really funny show. It's like kind of, like I said, it's breezy, but it's not like, I don't know, it just flows very well. Like I said, the chemistry's key, and all the other people who are like in the building pop up from time to time are funny. There's a lot of good stuff going on. I'm enjoying it. Some pretty good twists and turns along the way as well, so that's a nice one. I've been watching that. I need to continue to watch since the season 3 just started a few weeks ago. What We Do in the Shadows, I really like that show. It's funny as hell too. But I can't comment on it because I just noticed it was on Hulu. New episodes. We watch a lot of them. We've been watching it this season, and we watched it from the beginning. That show, Holy Moly. It's like an extreme mini golf show. Contestants like compete against each other in little tournaments each week, and each winner goes on to the last one, where they all face off, the winners of each episode, to win like $250,000. Joe Tessitore and Rob Riggle both are like the hosts or the announcers, and they're funny. They have good chemistry as well. Speaking of that, I really enjoyed it. It's like half Wipeout, half mini golf. The courses are crazy. The people usually end up falling in water or mud. A lot of stuff like that. They've changed. There's like new holes every year, but other ones like there's the windmill one, where you gotta run through these windmills and you get knocked into the water if you miss. Stuff like that. Another one they call hole number 2. You gotta like shoot. You hit your ball and then you gotta run past all these porta potties and people open the door and they knock you into the water if you don't make it past. A lot of stuff like that. Steph Curry's on it as well. It's a nice, kind of lighthearted show. Any other shows? Oh, interesting one on Apple TV called Calls. It's not even like visual in the sense of you're seeing people. It's just, we watched the first 2 episodes or listened to them. It's like phone calls between people, and it's very weird and strange. The second one was like a guy. His wife tells him he's pregnant, or girlfriend, I forget. And he like gets pissed and like drives off into the desert, and like he's calling, and he's like, pissed. He's talking to his whatever fiance, I forget which it was, if they were married or they were just like engaged or whatever at that point. And like she calls him, and he's like, yeah, I just left 30 minutes ago. And she's like, it's been 3 days. And each time he like calls somebody, it's like super far in the past. She's like, now I had the kid's 12 and stuff. It's interesting stuff like that. That's a pretty good one. It's different, for sure. I believe it's like leading towards like an event, because the first one was almost like an apocalyptic thing happening, which is interesting. Like the people are in 2, one's in LA, one's in New York, and they see people that look like them, but then they're like not them. Type stuff. That's an interesting one. That's different. Movies. We watched this movie Malignant the other night. That was good. It's by James Wan. It's a good horror type movie. It's about this woman. Like I don't really spoil it, so I won't talk too much about it. But there's a thing that's killing people. Is her imaginary friend? Is it? And there's twists along the way. But the woman has visions of the killer doing it. And then there is a big twist, and you find out what's actually happening, how it's happening, and stuff. It's pretty crazy violent towards the end of the movie, actually. I mean, it's violent before that, but not like the end. It's just like constant. It's good, though. Some pretty good kind of scares and whatnot. What else have we watched? Oh, I'm trying to think. We did watch the first Hellraiser a while. She'd never seen it, my fiance. First one's a great horror movie. The second one bugs me out. It's hard for me to watch that one for whatever reason. The first one's just a classic fucking movie. You got Pinhead and the other Cenobites. And this guy like escapes hell. Kind of, because like this guy bleeds on the floor. And he's in the house. This guy, his brother, his wife like moved into his brother's old house or some shit. And then he has to like kill people and eat them to like regain his body. He's like a skeleton type thing, and he's muscle. And the Cenobites are classic. It's a classic horror movie. Watched Jungle Cruise a few weeks ago, maybe it's like a month ago. That was really good. It was in the vein of like an Indiana Jones or the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. Kind of, another movie that kind of flows, kind of comedy, drama type stuff. The Rock's in it, Emily Blunt. That was a pretty good one. Really good version of Nothing Else Matters. I heard it, I'm like, is that Nothing Else Matters by Metallica? But Metallica actually did it with the composer of the soundtrack for the movie, so it's a really good version of that song, actually. So that was pretty good. I watched something else. What else did we watch? What else did we watch? I've been watching American Horror Story, actually, as well. The American Horror Stories, and like that's like a spin-off with episodes. We've watched a few. We watched one last night that was okay, involving like a video game on the murder house from the first episode, and you got to escape it, and it's like what's really happening and stuff. There was one called Feral that was really good. These people lose their son in the woods, and they're trying to find him like 10 years later, and there are these weird things that are in the woods that are like all weird looking people, like creeps. That was a good one. The new season, Red Tide, it's split into 2. It's gonna be Red Tide, I think, for a certain amount of episodes, and then the next one I think is Death Valley or something. That's good though. It's about these guys go to, I forget the name of the town in Massachusetts, Provincetown or something. Guy's a writer. He's got a mental block, and he takes this pill, and all of a sudden he's writing like crazy. But he needs to like feed like a vampire, and people who don't take to it, they don't have talent. They turn into like these pale people that also feed on people's vampires, but they're much more violent and they crave it more. That's been a pretty good season. Oh, we watched the second Escape Room, the Tournament of Champions. That was good as well. Saw the first one in the theater, and this one was good too. It takes place after with the two people that survived the first one going, and they meet up with other people, and they get stuck on a train, and they come across other winners, and now it's like the Tournament of Champions. I'll kind of leave it at that. There's a twist on that as well, but that was good. I think that's about it. I mean, there's other movies too. I'm trying to think. Oh, what the hell do we watch? I can't remember. I forget. There's something else. There's another movie recently that we watched, but I cannot remember what it is. Oh, I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music a few weeks ago. That was actually really good too. It's funny, you know, Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves were able to just jump right back into those roles, and their daughters are in it. They gotta go back in time and write like the best music ever, best song ever, because they were supposed to do it and they haven't now. Like the time is breaking down and shit. That's pretty funny. That's about it that I can remember. I'm gonna try to get a role play up tomorrow. I know I haven't done one in a bit. I want to kind of do one tomorrow, so hopefully I get that done. I'll probably film a gameplay at night. But yeah, that's just eating some butterscotch and just talking about what I've been watching recently. And thanks for checking this out.